Ninth month, you can take the baby and rip the baby out of the womb of the mother.
One thing I do like about Donald Trump is he's not afraid to fight the establishment.
Well, I'm pro-life, and I have been pro-life.
What does that mean to you?
Well, it means it's an issue. I mean, it is an issue.
Jim Harbaugh coached exiled quarterback Colin Kaepernick in San Francisco with the Niners as the two were one play away from hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. Recently, Harbaugh gave a quote that equates the novel coronavirus with something that is sure to become a talking point on the other side of the political aisle. Even now, as we all go through what we're going through with COVID-19, I see people more concerned about others. God has virtually stopped the world from spinning. I don't think it's coincidence. This is a message, he said to the National Review's Jar Nordingler. You see people taking more of a view of sanctity of life. I hope that continues, and not just in this time of crisis or pandemic. Then, unprompted, Harbaugh ends with this.
Abortion, and we talk about sanctity of life, and yet we live in a society that aborts babies. I mean, there can't be anything more horrendous.
Indeed.
Which reminds me, if you saw John Oliver's Last Week Tonight on April 5th, you might know where this is going.
2,405 Americans have died from coronavirus in the last 60 days.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you have 2,369 children who are killed by their mothers through elective abortions each day. That's 16,500 children killed every week.
That is Chanel Rion, a member of the media who has one goal: to cover Donald Trump, his wife Melania, and his children in the most praising, glowing, unethical, journalistic malpractice way to advance her career, and unfortunately, it's worked. Harbaugh, who at one point was dubbed the Donald Trump of college football by ESPN's Paul Feinbaum, goes way out of bounds, comparing coronavirus to abortion. As of this taping, there are over 22,000 deaths in the United States. This is due to, follow me here, an involuntary transmission of a disease. Harbaugh is bringing up a completely separate issue in attempts to intertwine the two while pushing his religion on all of us as the highest paid and face of a public university. As one Twitter user wrote, I believe I'm reading this right, but I could be wrong. Harbaugh said COVID is a message from God to get people to appreciate life and God more through the means of getting millions really sick, killing a bunch of them, and tanking the world economy. Do I have that right? Unfortunately, you do. In Texas, Attorney General Ken Paxton had declared that amid the COVID-19 outbreak, all abortion will be banned in the state. Patients across Texas were left with few options: delay the procedure until the ban is lifted, travel out of state to secure services, or be forced to have a baby. The state of Ohio ordered all abortion clinics to shutter, declaring them non-essential medical providers. They failed to follow the science, as medically ending an unwanted pregnancy is an essential health service, one that the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, the American Society for Reproductive Medicine, and a number of mainstream medical groups must be kept accessible even during this COVID-19 outbreak. What I find baffling about Harbaugh and many others with this ideology is, when and who is it acceptable to pick and choose whose lives matter? It's cognitive dissonance at its finest. Per the CDC, people in the United States are now 50% more likely to die in childbirth or soon after than they were just 30 years ago, with those deaths more often occurring in states with the most restrictions on abortion access. Again, I ask Mr. Harbaugh, which life matters? Abortion, especially early abortion, like that performed remotely by medication, remains far safer than childbirth and often saves the life of a person experiencing a medical emergency during a pregnancy. Like Texas AG Paxton, Harbaugh and other anti-abortionists are taking advantage of the coronavirus crisis to talk their issue. In turn, abortion opponents are using this moment to close as many abortion clinics as possible throughout the U.S., an action that will lead to another health system crisis, even if COVID-19 is contained, wrote Time magazine. If you'd like to hear more thought-provoking content like TYT Sports on Facebook and to help in my journey To keep media independent, go to tyt.com/Rick.